All right, good evening, gamers. This is the owperks.com website in which the community votes for perks that they probably traditionally take on the hero that they play. Now, this doesn't actually add true context because some perks are better situationally than others, but I thought I'd offer some insight where possible, along with seeing what the community tends to pick in majority of situations, because this is kind of what this all is. And it has additions with the new hero with Shion and a couple of perk changes like Domina, which we'll touch on in just a moment. So owperks.com, let us begin. First of all, with tanks, I think extended boosters is a no-brainer. Nobody really takes bunny power. I'm still surprised 17% take it. Now, shield system, this one has was recently nerfed last week for season 3. It says updated, right? It used to convert 150 health to shields. Now it's only 100 health to shields. That being said, it's still being picked 73% of the time, according to the people who voted on the site. I think this is more of a situational pick. I think it's always kind of been that way for a bit. Shield system was better in a lot of times that I watch OWCS because of the way like Sojourn and Tracers were running around, like having your Matrix be able to heal randomly by just matrixing a bunch of projectiles is good. But if you play a D.Va in a comp that doesn't have a lot of projectiles, you can absolutely take Precision Fusion. This one's a more greedy, aggressive style to tighten the spread and just DPS someone down, especially because they nerf micro missiles also like last season. So interesting here. I think both of these are still fine, but extended boosters is a no-brainer. Let's talk about Domina here. Extended power versus efficient design. I'm still very much a extended power kind of guy. I take the extended range. I think I used to start with efficient design for a bit of restoration. I think one of the things that I don't think is true, but this new one, corporate retreat, 72%. While barrier array is active, it can be moved one time to another location. This replaced the old one, which was power move, which stunned people that were up against the wall. But I was curious if this actually triggered the efficient design perk, if you know what I mean. So if you use barrier array, restore 50 shield and activate health, right? So if I opt to move my shield again, will it trigger this a second time? Probably not. We can put that in a Mythbuster, but that's something to think about with perk synergies. That being said, I think extended power is good. I think this one's okay. I think this one is kind of fallen out of favor because most people like can read the crystal charge now, and corporate retreat low-key is really good. It kind of makes Domina a lot better because a lot of times it was hard to play her on attacking sides specifically, because if you put your shield down, you're stuck for 14 seconds and that's where the shield is, and you can't move and can't really get too aggressive with a new shield in a long time compared to someone like Sigma who can re-put up the shield. So Domina would sometimes be played more so on defensive sides where you're kind of anchored into one high ground position, but with corporate retreat, it opens up her viability a lot more, which is good, but in a way it kind of like makes the other perk kind of obsolete when this one's just like almost always better if you opt to pick Domina. But in any case, corporate retreat is popular and it is very good in my opinion. Next, we have Doomfist, who did get nerfed on the power matrix. It got like went from 1 second to 0.8 seconds, but it's still the OP choice to take. 92% of the time, and then survival of the fittest for tankiness. 1-2 if you're greedy, but most dooms, like, you can pop off as long as you stay alive, and survival and power matrix are very important. Okay, Hazard's an interesting one because he also got his perks changed this season, where they moved Deep Leap into the major and made it from 15% to 20. They removed one of the other perks. I forgot what it was. Oh no, they swapped it around. I think Reconstitution was the other one. But anyways, Deep Leap is there. Anarchic Zeal is now the take because you get 40% lifesteal instead of 30%. It's not bad. You do heal. If you're in a clump, you can heal almost like 50 HP, maybe 50 to 100 HP. But it seems to be the common one. I played it today, some Hazard, and I do like Anarchic Zeal much more. It feels like you never really need the overfill on the spike guard because you're not sitting there blocking for that long. By the time the block is like, you know, meaningful in the first half second, the enemies either go away or you already have another opportunity to shoot your gun to do more damage and or leap again. So I do think Anarchic Zeal is the better take. I experimented with explosive impalements, but it did get nerfed from 40 to 30. And I think Hazard is good even without it. It could suck when you go for a backline and try to assassinate someone 100-0 yourself and they don't die because of the breakpoint change, but I think having the range to even reach them is really good. And like if you play Hazard with one other divey kind of flanker hero, you don't really need explosive impalements, especially because it got nerfed. The range is really good to just jump whoever your Tracer or your Shion is jumping right now. So I do think it's an Anarchic Zeal Deep Leap angle. Okay, Joker Queen. I personally play a lot of Queen. I definitely take Rampant Charge a lot, especially because there's so much CC knockbacks and stuff. But you can absolutely still take Battle Shout if there is no CC, but you have to be careful if they swap into something. So Rampant Charge is the safer one. I do take this mostly. And nowadays, I actually do take Savage Satiation. There was a point where I was taking Willy Willy because I was surprised at the increased impact damage to help secure kills 100 to 0 myself, but I found that even without it, if I do land a knife on a squishy, they're probably dead because I am weaving a bunch of primaries in between, and they're probably cooked if nobody helps them. So I think the survivability seems to be really important and valued, especially in these modern metas with all the global HP reduction and whatnot. So I do think I like Savage Satiation and Rampant Charge as my personal choices. I don't play Mauga, so I can't really comment on this, but it seems like Power Maniac, Firewalker, really common to just burn people. And you combo with Anran. Anran's really popular. Not really popular, but really good, I think, right now. Like, low-key an A-tier hero. I think some of the pros don't think she's, like, the other flankers do more, but I think, like, for the majority of players, she's, like, has some pretty crazy good dueling potential. Her lethality went up non-stop since her release. They buffed her non-stop, and they buffed her again this season with the recovery time. Kind of just helped the fluidity a bit, but she's honestly pretty good right now. Like, I think she's good, at least. So, anyways, this is about Mauga. I don't know why I talked about Anran so much. Take the burning ones. Moving on. Orisa, mobile fortification for no speed reduction and no heat generation, so you can non-stop pressure people. That being said, I've actually don't think defense protocol is that bad. With a 17% pick rate, you would think you don't pick it, but I actually think if this is your win condition in certain fights, like you're playing with a low resource healing backline for some reason. Let's say you're playing Mizuki Wu Yang, which, you know, has decent sustain, but it's not quite like an Ana, a Baptiste, or like a Kiriko who can like give you big bursty personal heals. This could actually be kind of crazy if you get in there. You soak up a lot of damage with your Fortify and your spin, and then you get in there and press your ultimate. You get a free Fortify on your ultimate, and then you heal back to full on it. Can be really good if you're strapped for resources. I honestly wouldn't pick Orisa too much if you don't have like good supports that can keep you topped up, because she's a very resource hungry tank. Unlike Ball, who can, you know, do his own thing and doesn't need supports to pocket him 24/7, but this could be something to consider, to be honest with you. Next, we have the majors. There's people always saying you don't even have to take a perk on her, but I think that's like, you don't pick a perk on her because you sit and wait to see if they're swapping. Like, you should still pick a perk on this hero. There's the social media thing where people are like, the best major perk is to not pick one at all, to lock you out of it. Like, honestly, if they swap a comp that like suddenly the shield or the javelin, charge javelin's no good, you just swap heroes. You should still pick a perk. It's still a power spike. Relative to the situation, you know what I mean? If both are bad in that situation, you switch heroes. That goes for a lot of heroes, right? But in any case, charge javelin, people take this because they don't want to lose the spin. But you can take the barrier if it's a good comp to play the barrier into, and you lose the spin, so you don't engage and you bunker up. You don't pick it because it fucks up spear aim. I think you should get used to it. If the spear is still good, you should get used to the speed. But it is, the projectile speed is faster, so it could fuck up muscle memory. But if you're gonna play Orisa or have her in your pool, you should learn the new speed with it. That's just something I wanted to point out with the whole like no taking perk debate. Okay, we have Ramattra here. The prolonged barrier size and duration being up longer is really good for his annoyingness, his uptime. They did buff the relentless form, but I feel like people aren't really taking it still because like it's in a snowballing one. The elimination will extend the duration, but if you're already going to eliminate one, you probably already win the fight, so maybe they're not valuing this as much, and this one is more time in the neutral, I guess. The nemesis form is up pretty often. I don't know. I don't think this one's that bad, to be honest with you, because it also works with his ultimate. But anyways, people like prolonged barrier. And then for the major perks, Void Excel, Void Surge for better mage form. I call him mage form, not Omnic block form. But like his, you know, when he uses his staff, we call it mage form because staves are for mages and sorcerers and warlocks. But that one is also my choice if I were to play him. What kind of comp would you take shield against? Actually, that's a good point. I should probably backtrack for the Orisa for people who have the questions. Good into Zarya. Actually, that's a good point. And some hit scans that can't pressure the barrier. If you see their Cassidy take Silver Bullet, suddenly Protective Barrier becomes really good because you can't double fan the hammer break it. Zarya can just beam you while you spin, so this is great into that matchup specifically as well. It's a good shout. And yeah, let's move on. Reinhardt. Crusader's Resolve seems like 100% take. But they did buff the Fire Strike from 120 to 125, and it goes faster. So this is a greed one. Crusader's Fire definitely feels like one you would do in like, if you're just kind of steamrolling the team anyways. But Crusader's Resolve is way safer to just suddenly heal yourself without any help from your team. Wow, Ignited Fury being 55%, each enemy you hit, Fire Strike. Because Fire Strike is faster now, maybe they're choosing this. I still think Shield Slam has way more utility and way better in ranked play to kind of like solve issues that Ryan has. Closing gaps without speed, jumping people who can always poke It'd keep you at distance. I think this is definitely the higher elo play for in terms of like playing Rein into bad matchups. But honestly, if they're getting hit by every fire strike, then I mean, go ahead and be greedy with Crusader's Fire and Ignited Fury. Why close the gap of barrier when you just kill them with fire strike? You know what? With this, you get increased attack speed. If you gain move speed by hitting a fire strike, low key, this would actually change my opinion of this. That could be a major perk change if we want to buff Rein again. Thoughts on this one, guys? In the chat and people watching this video. What if fire strike gave you move speed instead? 25% move speed. You're a Fury over Slam enjoyer. You know what? You do you, guys. Okay, then we go to Roadhog. Scrap hook reloading, so you don't have to ever worry about finding an opportunity for a hook and then not having any ammo. Sure. I think shrapnel is also pretty good too if you have good ammo management and stuff. But tightening the spread, extending the range of this could fuck up muscle memory as well, similar to the thing. But if you're gonna opt for this, you should probably get used to it. In any case, this one is the popular one and safer. Then we have hydrogen exposure. Wow, people are taking this to heal teammates. I see. Okay, cool. Sigma. Hyper regeneration is honestly so much better. The non-stop rocks is so greedy, but having like your shield uptime being way higher with this is so strong. And this is coming from a support player who plays a lot of Ana, Wu Yang. Like if that Sig shield doesn't go down and he cycles the suck, it's just so annoying to get through. But this one always feels like 100% for me. The fact that Hyper Strike is 57% is crazy for the punches. I have a completely different opinion. I think Levitation is better 90% of the time. I accidentally took Hyper Strike in a Vera game yesterday and I was punching the Queen nonstop, which is kind of nice. But other than like a Queen matchup and very specific ones, Levitation has so many map implications, even without like anywhere to go onto or perch up to. Just like floating up and getting a better top-down angle is actually crazy. I play Baptiste and I think about it this way. Like if someone's like on the same elevation from you and you shoot your Sigma balls and they strafe like, okay, they strafe like this, like the balls will pass through and like miss them. But if you just slightly float and aim downwards, even if they strafe, it'll splash on the floor and still hit them. Kind of, you know what I mean? I don't know. I just think Levitation is just such a good movement. You can reposition, take positions, and then of course like increase your accuracy, which net increases your DPS simply because you get better angles. It's one of the reasons why when I play BAP, I do mini hops. I don't want to hop too high and get shot by hit scans, but I mini hop into the air to get a top-down shot from my heels so that if my teammate happens to strafe, they still get hit by the splash. But if I were actually aiming for their back and trying to give my teammate a back shot and they like go to the left or the right, like they will just dodge the back shot, which is not that good. You should still aim for the feet, but you know what I mean? Your consistency improves by just having a better, like even like a 30-degree angle, if that makes any sense. Anyways, that's just my opinion. I think Levitation's much better in more situations. Okay, Winston. What's interesting with this one is I remember doing this video like a couple of months ago and all the pros were picking heavy landing for like good primal consistency to just do way more damage. If you know how to like primal rage nonstop and you're like a beast at Winston, you can play this one and just solo kill yourself. Solo kill enemies yourself. That being said, Electric Charge is a safe option for like most players, and I don't think it's a bad perk either. So like you just take Electric Charge, it's fine. Revitalizing Barrier is fantastic for the team. I think a lot of people love this. That being said, I've played against Chain Lightning. It's a bit niche, but it can be really good. Low-key, just like zapping clumped up people. This is definitely recognized the comp. I don't really think this is a 76-24 split as the voting suggests. This is really that you should read the situation. If they're always clumped, just literally always having two people being hit by it is crazy good value. Poke, they have to heal it up and then they can't peek and then you get extra ult charge because you're doing more damage. This is actually really good too. Okay. Wrecking Ball. I play zero ball. I've seen multi-ball in my games, and I've also seen these, I would say, more equal than 33, 66, or 67. So I don't know what to pick. Maybe the ball mains can chime in on what's... This is definitely like a read the situation kind of thing, which is good. I do think perks should be a more situational one. I really don't think it's a good design to have a perk that's just 100% pick all the time. You have to nerf the other one or bring the power level up, right? So that's decent split. I'm not a ball knower, no. And then for the major perk, I don't know a single one that takes hang time. So this is a design where this barrier is too strong. Why would you ever take hang time when adaptive barrier solves so many of your problems as ball? I don't think any ball player takes hang time. past diamond. So this is a one where it should be just 100% up pick all the time. It removes balls only counter, Cassidy, hacks. It's a full out barrier, man. Gone are the days where, like, I remember when they first told us they're adding this perk, they're like, think of it like a parry. This isn't a timed parry. This is just a straight up shield. If you wanted to nerf it, you could make this a parry where it's a small window to like activate it and it goes away right there. And if you don't get anything, you don't get anything. But the fact that it's just generated like a 0.5 second parry. It's just a straight up blocks everything. Yeah, it's too good. His only counter is being CC'd, and then you can't be CC'd. Ball is played all the time in pro play in OWCS Korea, all the time, bro. These ball players are insane. He's so much HP, and then the barrier just makes him like untouchable. You can't even Mizuki chain him or anything if he's good. Crazy. Okay, and then we have Zarya, finally. 18% for jump ups is crazy. This should be way more 50-50, to be honest with you. So this is definitely an interesting average to observe on these websites. I personally take jump ups 75% of the time, and I'll only take spotter if it only activates on an ally bubble, not a personal bubble. I will only take this if I have a Reaper. Guess what? Reaper's not meta right now. He got nerfed. Well, I wouldn't say he's not meta. He did get nerfed. I would take this with Genji, Reaper, Venture, maybe Shion, which, you know, are decently, and Anran, which are decently like active heroes, don't get me wrong, but like spotter is actually situational because you only do it on the condition of your DPS hero, but jump ups is just way better for movement and map positioning. So I think jump ups require knowledge. People don't think of the jumps. Learn. If you want to be a better Zarya, I recommend this one. Definitely watch like High Ump Sky. She's like one of the best Zarya. I think she always takes jump ups. Taking better positions, angles, so good. And then this one, I will say extra oomph feels like 100% pick. I do not like energy lance. This one's too conditional with piercing enemies. Are they really gonna line up perfectly for you to beam them constantly? Maybe in a grab, but even in a grab, you just beam one person to just secondary fire melee the rest. Getting extra energy to like reset the degen time and all that stuff is just too good. This feels like 100%. This one's more situational. All right. Let's move on to the damage heroes. Shion, everybody's talking about the perks. Rapid reload versus Ex Machina. So I had my day one impressions on what I thought of the perks, and I was like, I think rapid reload's not bad into Roadhog and like Mauga, and I actually still stand by that. I played this hero into that matchup, and sometimes like if I don't have a Sojourn teammate who can pressure the Roadhog, Mauga, or Orisa, like they just don't die, and I felt like I had to swap off Shion because like we just didn't have the comp to deal with certain tanks. So I think in this condition, rapid reload is a tank conditional one, but Ex Machina is just so good to just duel people. Now that I know it's dynamic and it will buffer the bonus damage below half health, even if they start at 60% health. So I've said this before, but I used to think on the release day, the reason why I was like rapid reload's decent is because I thought Ex Machina checked the HP when I first activated the ability. So let's say person here is 60% health. If I hit the Ex Machina, it doesn't, the whole thing will just do normal damage because he started at 60%. It did the check there. But because the bullets come out one at a time, the moment the few bullets hit to bring them below half health, it dynamically will change it and just get buffed for the rest of the bullets. So I will say I am taking Ex Machina like 90% of the time, to be honest with you. And I tried taking it into, like I said, Roadhog, Mauga today, and I lost. So I was like, maybe I can try rapid reload again. But like, I still think this is so good to just burst people. So we'll just take that one. Okay. Now, Refuel versus Faces of Death. I think Faces of Death is a good ranked one for being greedy. And it's really good with the sub rolls. The headshots will give you your bike back and your dash back really good. It's a good snowballing one for sure. And also learn that Ex Machina headshots will also lower the cooldown of Faces of Death. So now that I know that interaction, I do think I should probably take this one like 75% of the time, 3/4 of the time. That being said, I'm glad Refuel has some love here because I think this is actually a pretty good perk depending on the situation, of course. One example I can think of with Joyride healing you is Moira, just random Moira being played right now because of her damage orb getting buffed by like 58 damage or something by 20%. Just taking random chip and then like, you know, your supports always aren't topping you off. It's kind of hard to engage or disengage, and just being able to just like take some chip and just hop on the bike and then bounce around and get out safe is quite nice too. But yeah, anyways, Faces of Death is definitely like, I think it's a 3/4 of the time now, and Refuel can be a safer option depending on the matchup. Again, I watched OWCS Pacific 2 days ago. Most of the Shions took Faces of Death. There were a few that did take refuel though, and it was definitely a comp dependent thing. So it's not like this is 100-0 kind of a thing compared to like a Zarya, which feels like 100-0 here. So you know, just think of the situation and how it's going. Okay, we have Anran. Smolder with ignited people burning 1.5 seconds longer versus overhealth when you use your ultimate and for each enemy ignited for it. I think I like Smolder because I'm just constantly burning and annoying people. It just feels like a better DPS option for the neutral. But Heat Shield can be decent if you are going to use your ultimate like aggressively. The res one, I don't really like it's like overhealth doesn't feel that necessary with it because when you res, you can like Dancing Blaze and like dash out. This is definitely one where like if you're going to go in. But you might not need it if you play with Zarya or get bubbled. I think Smolder personally is better. And then we have the major perks. Hungering Blaze for more healing versus the dashes. I started taking this one to be safer because she does feel like a 1-for-1 trader. Kind of a hero a lot of times, and having more healing can make it where I could take a 2-for-1, which is a really good trade, honestly. Your job's done if you get 2-for-1. Or 2-for-0 in an ideal world, or 5-0, but you know what I mean. I have tried short fuse if they're playing very clumped to non-stop down, like just fly in, fly out, bump into them, hit a Hungering Blaze or hit a Dancing Blaze, then dash out a third time. This honestly distribution sounds pretty good. It's probably a 75-25 for me personally, so 3 games, 1 game, I'll take this. Looks pretty good for Anran. Ashe. They did buff the double barrel, so knocking back an enemy with a coach gun allows you to use the second one. And I think they updated it where you don't get personally knocked back, so you can push people back with it. But I think most people are still taking remote dynamite, so you don't have to peek for the dynamite, or you can throw the dynamite and already shoot the enemy without wasting a bullet to remotely to actually detonate it yourself. So this is a great solo queue DPS option. We take that. And then Viper Sting, despite it getting nerfed, they moved the ammo refund into Air Burst. 25 extra damage is important because of the break points, so I think people are still going to take this. 25 extra damage doesn't seem like much, but I think Ashe is... It might be a 75 body shot, 150 headshot, right? At better ranges. So, like, let's say you headshot, body shot for 225. Sure, you'll kill some heroes, but there are 250 HP heroes, right? So an extra 25 could be the difference between a headshot, body shot on a 250 and then just killing them. And, like, securing a kill where you otherwise wouldn't without the perk is such, like, a big swing. That's it for Ashe. We have Bastion here. So they changed it where the ultimate, you don't have the Bastion one where you pop your ultimate and get a gazillion overhealth so you can combo it with Cat. They nerfed it so that you have a self knockback one to get into positions now. But I think most people take configuration reload because you can throw a grenade, swap, and then get a second grenade here for just more DPS. So that one seems to be the one. Self-repair, great for solo queue to keep yourself up, but Lindholm Explosives is like a recognized situation where like they don't have anything to block it. You have a Cat to get into an angle. You don't need the machine gun to like break any shields. They're all just like out in the open. You can take Lindholm Explosives to just absolutely demolish them. Cool. Cassidy, bang bang for 2 flashbangs, travel a bit further for better range to control space. Still one of the best ones. I tried even the odd because they buffed the healing on the Deadeye. I would probably maybe take this with Cat specifically, maybe if they look like they're going to be dealing with you, but you probably don't even need it. You just take bang bang. Silver Bullet got nerfed from 70 damage to 50 on the bleed, but it's taken 93% of the time. I don't know. I actually think Rollin' Roundup has merit. Way more than 7% would suggest here. Silver Bullet's more fun. I do take it more often, but like Rollin' Roundup is basically if you just fan the hammer. 6 times 15 is 90 HP on a roll. Is my math right? A 90 HP roll, and you can do it twice, or just is kind of crazy for sustain. Especially because when you roll, you have a damage reduction during your roll, right? And let's say you're stuck by a Freja, okay? And there's a second for where you can react to you're stuck by it. You roll to have the damage, and then you just heal. And it's just like, it does nothing. And it's really good into all the Moiras running around thanks to a recent buff to just like offset some of the random chip damage and just trash damage you're taking, especially if no one's always watching you. So it is pretty good for the healing capacity, but also losing Silver Bullet for Fan the Hammer is a situational thing against barriers. So against Winston bubble, keeping your Fan the Hammer for double Fan the Hammer is actually really important for Winston matchups. It's good into Sig. It's good into, I wouldn't say Ramattra because the shield goes down. and it's like 1000 HP. You just let it expire naturally. It could be decent into Rein. It can be decent into Orisa with the shield. Did I say that already? Sigma. Basically all bubbles and shields. Alternatively, if you take Silver Bullet, if you are able, you have to recognize by the time you get your major perk, are you uncontested on a side angle where you can just ignore those barrier tanks and Silver Bullet the backline? Sure, take Silver Bullet. But if you notice their Winston is literally shitting on your team, like you should just probably keep your fan. He jumps you and he lands on you and starts zapping you. You fan his bubble, roll once, fan again, you break his bubble and you heal his like damage he just did on you. It's so good into that matchup. It's a tank buster playstyle versus, go kill the squishies. In any case, it shouldn't be 93-7. Read the situation here. Echo, partial scan, got nerfed, still good. Full salvo, got nerfed, still too good. Take those two. Next, Emre, enhanced agility to get into positions. Low key, I think suppressive security is not bad too. But this is fine distribution here. Heatsink got nerfed, but it's still being picked from 100% heat to 60%. Because people just don't like the sticky grenades. It bounces a bit weird. Even though it does more, I think the bounce to get around corners is more valuable, and then heatsink for sustain. Good. Now we have Freja. I gotta speed through this because the video is getting really long here. We have Relentless Barrage here. Direct hits you become a bolt, like primary M1 Freja with this one versus the dash distance. I don't play any Freja right now. I played her in Stadium, but it's completely different in Stadium, so I can't even tell you what's better, or like, maybe we'll just trust the community choice. It's pretty much 50-50. Pick whatever you prefer. Maybe Freja mains can chime in here. I guess a lot of people don't really use the updraft additional charge. Everyone's taking the sustain one here for aerial recovery. If you have a hard pocket with like a Mercy following you around, maybe you can gamble with Rising Winds, but this one is definitely like, if you're getting shot a lot, take the heal. If you feel like you're just controlling the airspace, literally no one's contesting you, they're not playing a hit scan, just greed with 2 updrafts. Okay. Genji, wow, Dragon's Thirst is 72% now. That's interesting. I actually thought Swift Cuts was a little bit better, to be honest with you, especially if he's all-inning and getting a melee on you. Maybe if he gets the reset, the Swift Strike cooldown's obsolete. But this one is good if you don't have a nano, I won't lie. Sometimes I feel like I'm trading and trying to kill the Genji. I'm like, oh my god, he's one, and then he swings twice into 2 people and he's full health. I'm like, never mind. Yeah, I think this is a good distribution, 25-75. If your blade is your win con for each fight, it's good. This one's okay. Blade twisting versus meditation. Regenerate 50 health. Deflect got buffed, by the way, from 10 seconds to 8 seconds. And this healing got buffed too. Obviously, blade twisting, dealing extra damage, and we saw how much breakpoints with Ashe and all that damage is important. If you have 2 divers, like you're diving with a Shion, a Tracer, or a Winston, maybe you don't need to greed for blade twisting and you can just play deep sustain just in case. This one, with all the buffs to deflect and meditation, it might be fine. I think you play this one by ear. Yeah, both are fine. Okay, let's move on. Hanzo. Guys, I think everyone takes Sonic Disruption. I don't know why this is 65%. I think controlling a health pack is like, but mostly for defense, and just like if you're playing around it, and especially like let's say you're playing on King's Row Hanzo, like making sure that mega health pack below you is permanently controlled is kind of strong, to be honest with you. So I don't know. I think this one's kind of greedy. Hanzo already just like one shots and stuff. I don't know if he needs extra attack speed, to be honest with you. I think spatial control with this is so important on the maps he plays on. And then for the major, wow, Frost and Scatter 66-33. I feel like when I play against Hanzo, I'm still getting hit by scatters more often than I see Frost. A 2-second slow that's conditional on you hitting. If you charge it up and then you miss, then what? Junkrat. Ooh. Nitro Boost was the take to make sure your Riptire got kills, but it is less. But you go for squishies with this. Bomb Voyage got buffed for more attack speed. Maybe this one has more merit because it just recently got buffed. I think when I did this video before, people were not taking this and it was like 80% Nitro Boost. But now, Bomb Voyage is definitely picked up in Steam simply because they buffed a lot of the attack speed. Yeah. All right. And then with the community, then we have 86% for the frag launcher projectile speed. I think with this combo specifically, your neutral game is really lethal. These things are just fucking coming out like crazy right now. I won't lie, I played against some Junkrats and they've actually been owning, so yeah. All right, and then we have Mei right now. Mei got buffed with the primary fire, getting like 2 meters extra, if I'm not mistaken. So like her little beam is kind of insane. So like getting into a better angle with double jump, creating a pillar to block stuff, getting better angle. This one feels like 100% take, by the way. I don't know. The skating rink, if they're within Blizzard, why do they need healing and move speed when they're already frozen? They're probably dead and you win the fight if you catch people in it. So I don't know. I think you'd take glacial propulsion like 100% of the time. This one is conditional. I actually don't think crowd freeze is that bad either, even despite the 28%. Getting in deep and synced up with your team and then freezing, sitting there like frozen in an ice block in the back and dealing 70 damage to like multiple people is kind of nice. But freezing them for CC, especially with the buff to the primary, feels like definitely a 75-25 take now. I agree with this, 75-25. Pharah. Nobody's taking Helix shields. Interesting. Mostly because you play her with a pocket. You don't play Pharah without anybody who can reliably keep her up. So you take concussive force for the blast to do 30 explosion to change breakpoints. You hit them, and then, you know, 2 rockets, 2 directs do 120, 1 to 240. But sometimes you don't get 2 directs. You get a direct and like a nearby splash for 90. So having the concussive, put him in a better spot for 30 bonus, along with a better chance of directing, is a higher chance of actually killing the 250 HP hero. I think that's why this one's more popular. Yeah, and rocket salvo, if you use your movement, you get even more mini rockets to help secure those breakpoints in case you don't hit directs. So if you have good fuel management, nobody's taking it. This feels like 100%, and like 75-25 is fine here. Okay, Reaper. Lingering Wraith. Nerfed, I think, the move speed from 40 to 30. Still take it though. You don't need soul globes when they're dead. You Wraith and you heal out and you disengage. And then dire triggers, having more uptime is good. You get more dire triggers to poke. Yeah, I like this one. Okay, next, Sierra. Yeah, tight grip for DPS. Not much to be said about this. They should probably rework her perks, because this is actually 100 and 100 right now, by the way. Who the hell takes the health kit here? This is 100 and 100, which means they need to rework the other 2 minor perks, or like just change these majors right now. Okay. Sojourn. What is going on here? Why is this 5149? Guys, overcharged is so important, I think. If you're not going to hit your shots as Sojourn, I wouldn't even play her, to be honest with you. This just makes her ultimate so lethal. This is definitely like a can't hit your shots. Okay, we'll play deceleration field. But I don't know. I don't think you need the speed. Most people are slow. Most people just don't stand in it for that long, anyways. This one just has more potential to just win your fights with the overclock. All right, and now we have the dual thrusters, which was 100% pick before, but they buffed friction to actually give you 75 energy from 50. I tried this, but what sucks is when you slide and you jump cancel, you don't get all the energy. You have to just like commit to the full slide. I think for that reason, I don't like it that much. I think if they allowed you, like every time you slid, you get like 50 guaranteed energy despite jumping. Like nerf it back to 50, but make it if you jump cancel early, you actually still get full 50 energy. That actually might be more of a merit than having double thrusters in case you don't need it in a comp where like, you know, they're actually jumping you nonstop. I tried it. I thought it was pretty cool. I had to just full slide though to get the energy. So I shoot a full slide and shoot again, but I hate committing to the full slide to get the energy. Just like if I activate it for like 0.2 seconds, give me the rest of the energy. Maybe a little less to make up for it. But yeah, that's it. Soldier, I do take Helix propulsion. It's really good to hit the pesky fast heroes. Faster projectile speed on the Helix is so reliable. It's so nice on Tracer or like Shion, who are like 5 meters away, medium range. It kind of catches them off guard. When you're visoring, you don't really need like the shorter helixes because you're spamming anyways, or people are kiting and stuff. So I think Helix propulsion is a good take. And then Stim Pack now, especially because they moved the reload into the base kit. That like Stim Pack just feels like 100% take. Okay, we have Sombra. We have encrypted upload. Hack can be used while invisible. Teleporting with translocator initiates the health passive. I think Sombra low-key is kind of weak right now. Not even low-key, she is weak. She's annoying, so people ban her, but I don't even think she, like, if you don't want to make her more annoying to people, you can, I think you could literally let her like translocate even at normal health and initiate like passive health regen. It's so conditional to specifically be below half health for this to trigger. You could just have it when you TP. This is literally the survivor, like it's built into the base kit on like a third of the support roster where they press like glide boost or Wu Yang rushing torrent and they start self regenerating. But now you have to tie it specifically to like a translocator. And like, what's it called? Like Reinhardt can just pop his shield up and he gets it. That's not really a cooldown, right? But like you have to be below half to get it. That's kind of crazy to me. And then there's the Vile Replication to keep spreading, but people are not even clumped that this doesn't even feel that useful. I'll be honest with you. I don't know. I can usually the people are if you're gonna play the Sombra, like go for a person in the backline style, people are not clumped enough within 8 meters to even get double hacked with this, which is, or to get the benefit of Vile Replication. So it just feels like her perks are just not great for her. Also, I think somebody sent me like people's the Sombra mains are like hating on me because apparently I was the one who suggested that Hanzo's hack overwrites Sombra's. I didn't suggest shit. I think I remember this because I was with the devs when they were showing off the perks. I was asking it as a Mythbuster question. I was just like, yo, like does the Hanzo thing overwrite it? So I was just curious. And then they're like, I don't know, should it? As like, we're just like tongue in cheek. And I was like, yeah, it should, as like a joke. Like, I'm not like, and then now they're like, you did it, Karq. You're the one who made the change because you put it in the universe and they listened to you. I'm like, okay, whatever you say. My bad for like just asking a Mythbuster question and I was posing it as a joke. I don't think they interpreted it as like, yeah, we'll actually implement it because you said it out loud. It was literally like it was probably some sort of look, I'm pretty sure it already did. I think the person who answered me, I don't even know when this was. I'm pretty sure they're just like, I don't even know. Something happens in that interaction. That's why they were like, I don't know, should it? It is interesting. But yeah, you know, Sombra mains hate me, but you know, there's like 5 of them. Cause like, oh, I mean, there's more. I'm being tongue in cheek. Don't. Never mind. I'm not gonna defend myself or over explain here. Let's move on. Symmetra. Okay. Symmetra. We have Sentry Capacity versus Perfect Alignment. Reminds me a lot of Domina. It's literally the same perk as Domina. Yeah, you just want the beam to be able to attach to people so you can snowball it earlier with the better range. So I do think this is better for sure. And then shield battery to stay near it. I don't even think I ever see the hovering barrier ever. So yeah, we'll take shield battery. That's good. Torbjorn. We have Hammer Time versus Preheated. Molten Core getting a free overload is really good on the ultimate, but like Forge Hammer to move around if you're a flanking annoying ass Torb. Okay, but yeah, I do think Preheated is better. I don't actually, now that I played against more Torbs in recent times, I know Anchor Bolt used to be like a 95 and 5, but I actually don't even think Overloaded Turret is that bad at all. Like, this thing can be so annoying if someone is like breaking it and you just randomly overload it and it just turns level 3 and just starts pumping damage. Anchor Bolts is maybe better on defense when you can set it up on a spot, but like low key, like going aggressive and then like putting your turret aggressively and then just charging it is like kind of crazy. Overwatch 1 moment, you know? So I don't really think this 82-18% distribution is as big of a gap as it may seem. I think this one is better than 18% suggests. That's my take on it. Okay, kinetic reload got nerfed from 20 ammo to 12, but it is still taken 92% of the time because blink distance 20%. You don't need the blink distance 1 and 2. It messes up too much muscle memory, so nah. And then for the major perk, map dependent, blink packs is okay, but I think quantum entanglement is much safer to just recall and just have extra HP to win your duel in that moment. So I think most high level tracers take this like 80 to 90% of the time. I don't even know if they ever take blink packs. Again, might just be a very specific map. I don't touch Tracer. I don't watch Tracer streamers. Maybe there are maps they take it, but I think this one's really good. Better than 56% at least. Okay, Vendetta. Wow, interesting that people are taking extra spin damage for 30. I actually think extra edge is better. I don't think this is 69-31. I think you should be taking extra edge like 75-25. Having less energy for extra edge means you can throw more poke. More damage means you build your ult. Like the extra edge itself does more than 30 damage. Spinning 3 more times, at least I find in high ranks, is like easier for you to get countered or shot. It's like standing. It's like, remember when Pharah's ultimate lasted like, it's strong, but it lasts too long, and then it's like press Q to ult meme. Despite how lethal it is, she dies because she stands still for too long. When you spin for that much longer, like every second counts in this game, to be honest with you, where you're in a predictable kind of motion. So I think this one's bait. I don't think this should be taken 69% of the time. I think you should take extra edge. You get to poke more, and it builds up your passive, so your passive onslaught stacks can stack faster with extra edge. This should be like 75, 80, 90 even %. I don't like Raging Storm, but maybe I'm wrong. Vendetta mains might be able to correct me, but clearly the Vendetta mains are taking it 69%. So what do I know? Just my opinion. I think you should take extra edge. Major perk, I think you should take Siphoning Strike too for the lifesteal. Although the stacking if it's easy to stay full stacks and you're playing with a Zarya specifically, like if you're playing with a team that can give you a Wu Yang orb and like a Zarya bubble, you can greed for Relentless, but this is a safe one, so we'll keep it there. And we have Venture. Really strong alt perk. This thing is insane as well. It reminds me a lot of the overclock one on Sojourn. Whenever I watch OWCS, this is the one they always take. It's just so strong. And then I don't know if you would ever take Covered in Dirt. They need to rework this perk, by the way. Dealing damage with melee specifically gives you 30 shields. When you're in their face and you sneak up, like just having extra range to poke is so good. You don't need this extra 30 HP on yourself when you already have so much when you unburrow. And you have burrow to get out or in, and you have so much movement that gives you natural shields too. You are tanky enough. It's never really an option, an idea of you being like, if you die on Venture, it's because you overstayed. The 30 HP on a single melee, it's Clobber. Clobber is your melee attack. It's not going to be the difference, but like being able to just have extra range to like drill, like do your combo, drill dash someone, and then you separate them a little bit. And let's say they like, you know, use something to separate even more distance. You get extra range to clean them up. Or you can poke in the neutral more. I just think Smart Extender is just way better. And then we have Widowmaker. Cheaper ammo, so you don't have to reload as much versus Grappling Hook. Dude, I would take this one, personally. Because, like, I want to get a sneaky kill. If I'm like, I don't need 3 ammo for 10 shots when I'll just kill them in 2 shots. You know what I'm saying? You don't need scope deficiency if you're just going to hit your shots. You got to hit the shots that count. Because usually, in higher elo, if you take 2 or 3 shots and the enemies know your new spot, your new position, you kind of have to move. Or else if you stay there for too long, they know how to hide from your angle and you lose value, or they have someone ready to jump you. So a lot of times Widows are unable to stay in the one spot for like 10 straight shots, so you don't really need scope deficiency. But being able to sneak a quick grapple shot with a faster charge to kill somebody and actually get the kill seems to be valued the higher you go, but maybe not so much in the lower ones when everyone's missing their Widow shots. So sure, that's just what I've noticed. And then same here with Widow's Bite, you get some extra damage, which is really good for killing tanks now. You can randomly just snipe like a Zarya or a Doom or a Queen when they're like, you know, just down a bit of HP. I don't know about this whole double Venom Mine thing. Could be okay, but like, dude, 90 to 9? I always take this one. I don't even think you take this one. Fuck it. Just take Widow's Bite. All right, let's move on to the supports. We're down here near the end now. We have Speed Serum versus Groggy. Speed Serum got nerfed from 40% movement speed to 30, but I still think you take this 100% of the time. I don't like Groggy. I used to say I would take it against Ball and Doom, and now with freaking Ball just having the barrier perk, and because Ball didn't originally start in the perk when perks came out, Ball didn't have that perk at the time, so I was like, I would take Groggy into that. But like now, just dude, I don't even bother. I used to do it into Doom too, but like, who cares? This guy can just also just randomly just not get slept now because he has Power Matrix, and he can just Meteor Strike when he wakes up and just press E and then punch away. Like this slow doesn't do that much. And this is damage over time. Yeah, I don't know. I think Speed Serum has too much like team fight winning implications. If it only granted move speed to the person you nanoed, I was like, okay, maybe you could like justify Groggy a bit more, but the fact that she gets movement speed as well, so you can nano someone and then you are suddenly super fast to move around, I don't know. I think this is just a take it all the time moment. And now we have our major perks. Biotic Grenade Biotic Bounce got nerfed so much, you just take Headhunter for the kill potential. You sleep somebody yourself, you walk up, you headshot them with the unscoped shot instantly. For the big burst, you don't need to call someone to be like, oh my god, he's sleeping here, please help. You just do it yourself. You can randomly just win team fights by just sniping people in the pre-fight and the neutral, so the implications for this are way better. Biotic Bounce, maybe if you needed to live on the bounce, but like I don't see any honest take Biotic Bounce anymore, like ever. It's literally like 199 to 1, maybe. All right, Baptiste. I play a lot of Baptiste. Don't take Expanded Field. This thing is bait. Expanded Fields, like the lamp value is like mostly done in the first like 0.5 seconds you put it down, because you're just saving someone in that exact small moment. Assault Burst has way more implications for the attack speed on both your shot and your heal. So I think Assault Burst is a much better take. There's no way this should be 48%. Like, the only situation I can think you would take Expanded Field is if you're constantly dying to like Zarya grab Hanzo Dragon combo, and because Hanzo's Dragon kills the lamp around the corner now. Overwatch 1 back in the day, you could just lamp around a corner and survive because the Dragon used to not break lamp, but Dragon now kills deployables So like the expanded field, maybe you can put your lamp a little further out to reach you in case of the grab dragon, but like you're only holding it for that specific situation. Like, I don't know, you just take assault first. Okay, automated healing being a more popular choice here makes sense, but I think rocket boots is valued way more in higher ranks. It is a bit situational. Sometimes if like I'm playing a very slow comp, a very slow poke, Bap, Mizu, Sigma, like everyone's playing front to back, I can greed without rocket boots and take automated healing, and then maybe my random Shion or Genji in the back and just get some healing. I probably take rocket boots 75 to 90 to 10 right now. I don't actually take automated healing that much ever. It sucks because I think Bap's perks were better back then when automated healing was on the minor. I think they should move. Yeah, I don't know. I think when they changed this, I didn't like it as a Bap player myself. But anyways, let's move on. Brig, we have moral boost versus combat medic. Melee attacks reduce the repair pack. I mean, if you're brawling constantly, this seems to have high potential. But Inspire being longer when you're constantly poking with whip shot is actually so good. Yeah, I don't know. It's probably a morale boost. And we have, oh yeah, this Whiplash got buffed, right? For extra damage if they get whipped into the wall. 2 conditional. If people are diving your backline, like you just whip them instantly whenever you can. It's kind of hard to perfectly align the wall. And like just being able to have the consistency of shield bash, giving you move speed to reposition and to like actually bash someone even while you're protecting them to instantly trigger Inspire is so nice. We have Illari. Rapid Construction did get buffed, but I just think Summer Solstice is too good. It's not even so much that the fact that you get attack speed, it's increased flight and the flight duration. It's like, even if you have a bad Illari ult, you're suddenly a flying hit scan hero that can just like peek around corners and take crazy angles and just shoot people. It's so strong. I think this one's really good. So I would still take this 99% of the time. Sunburn got nerfed because this whole solar flare thing feels so gimmicky with the heal. The outburst used to be 70 damage, it got nerfed to 50, but I still think it's good. 50 damage and to like up close when you're dealing with all the Shions in your face and the flankers, it's just so good to trade duels. With the Pylon pumping a heal into you into an insta-free trade on Sunburn with 50 burning damage, which stops them from healing, and then you shoot them back, it's too good. You just take this 100%. They should rework some of these perks here. Okay. Interesting. Transport shielding was the one that just got modded, so we got rid of Cat Bastion. Nobody takes this because this is such a duo queue, like team synergy thing. Majority, if you're not playing Cat with like a coordinated stack with your friends, like just don't even bother with this. Just take one that actually helps your neutral, which is way more healing with the fuel. If you are playing with a friend and you're like syncing up like a High Noon or a Visor or a Bastion still, then yeah, you can take transport healing still. And then we have the major perk. Headbutt got buffed, but it's still too inconsistent. Claws Out is just better consistent dueling potential, so we still take this 100% of the time. We now have Juno with the faster teammate one versus offensive torpedoes. I actually think people are sleeping on this one. I think everybody's takes locked on. I think this is really good in 6v6 because there's literally an extra enemy. But like, I don't even think Familiar Vitals is that bad at all. Maybe this is a 75-25 fair split for me, which I agree with, but I don't think this is that bad personally. And now we have the triple jump versus faster blaster. This actually did get buffed, but now people have finally converted to the liftoff thanks to all the social media buzz around the discussion of this hero. And a lot of good Juno players, good Juno streamers have been telling you to take this one for a long time now. Better angles, safer, not tying your extra healing onto a faster blaster. There is a misnomer though, where people are saying this barely does anything with it firing continuously. That's not true, because like when you do activate it, the consistent fire, the math was like 30 to, I think now that it's buffed, maybe like a 35% increase in healing / damage, depending on who you're shooting with the full continuous fires. So it is like meaningful if you use it in the right way, to be honest with you. So like the whole idea of it, like people were like, now that when people got sold on liftoff, they're just saying the other one is like does nothing, but it does do something. Like let's be honest here, okay? Let's have a level head here. I do like liftoff more, but yeah, just pointing that out. Okay, Kiriko. Now here's something, I play a lot of Kiriko, which is like one of my most played heroes. I actually think this could be closer to 50-50. That's my opinion of this. And the reason why is the speed of the projectile got buffed, and when you combo it with urgent care, it's actually so nice. It is genuinely, it is really good because it heals your teammate faster if they're low, and it heals yourself faster because you're a medic. Pre-sub-roll era of Kiriko, when she wasn't a medic yet in the sub-rolls, okay, Fortune Teller was like 100% pick. But because your speed goes faster when you heal a teammate, and the Ofuda was buffed, and because you as a medic self-heal, because your papers are flying faster to heal a teammate, especially if you're all taking damage together, it's kind of nice. Fortune Teller is good if you hit your shots, but most people don't. But if you do, it's good. So I like Fortune Teller still into tanks that are spammable. So Mauga, Orisa, Roadhog. Okay, they're big bodies. I'm honestly weaving in my heals into 2 kunais, or maybe I'm just spamming kunais, and now my papers are constantly healing. If you play Kiriko into an enemy Sigma or a Reinhardt, I don't think Fortune Teller is that good. Like, you're barely sneaking kunais in where the 2 healing Ofuda launched is meaningful. And you have to make sure there's a teammate in front of you. You don't bank 2 Ofudas. The way Fortune Teller works is if I shoot somebody with my kunai right here. 1, 2, 3. It's not like 2 papers are flying out my, like, the back of my hat and flying to my teammates. They will only, 2 will only fly out the next time there's a teammate in my field of view. So I could be solo off angling with Fortune Teller, doing aggressive Kiriko plays in solo queue, and these papers aren't actually doing anything. They're not healing anybody. This is, I agree. I think urgent care should actually be more staple, like a 75, maybe not 66%, and then Fortune Teller is a situational one. Take Fortune Teller into spammable people, and you're playing more front to back, where there's a teammate in front of you. So like I said, there's a Roadhog, there's a Mauga. Your Mauga is dueling a Mauga. This is like Fortune Teller is like giga meta pick, because you're pumping your Mauga with heals, and you're weaving in kunais in between the downtime recovery time, and they're hitting the Mauga very easily, enemy Mauga in front of you, and then you get 2 extra papers on your Mauga because you're staring at them. It's only to the ally in front of you. That's my take on the Kiriko. I disagree with this 2674. And then we have the major perk. I do think Foxtrot is like still 80. Yeah, I would say like 80%. I take this actually almost 100%. But if you are taking urgent care, there is what's it called? A combo with Ready Step specifically, where you get 40% increased attack speed. If you TP to someone and you spam them with in their low HP, and you spam them with urgent care, because you have increased attack speed multiplied by increased projectile speed multiplied by the Ofuda buffs that were maybe not multiplied, additive in recent times, like this combo is kind of lethal. But I do like Foxtrot more for the movement. Even when you Suzu for yourself to, like, you're in danger, you Suzu, and then the move speed, you're invulnerable, with the extra move speed itself will also let you like wrap around a corner and get into safety with that speed really quickly. You said people haven't realized, yeah, the changes to Kiri in the previous seasons changed her perk powers. I agree with that. Foxtrot Brain Rot, people picking this perk out of habit when it gave CDR. Yeah, I actually think it was a bad pick. I actually thought the other one was better now when I think about it, when Foxtrot used to be only 2 seconds of move speed. I think that's what it used to be. They got rid of CDR, it was only 2 seconds. But now that it's 4 seconds, that's pretty good. I'm still a believer of Foxtrot for sure. Yeah, I'm not mistaken, right? It was 2 seconds. Yeah, then back then, 2 seconds was actually not great at all. 4 seconds is really good. So I still think we take this. Anyways, let's move on. This is a long ass video. We have Life Weaver. We have Petal Protection and Dashing Escape. Interesting, where the dash distance, people value that. I feel like you don't need the dash distance. I'm not a Weaver main, but like he's already so safe with the Petal platform. What does this extra 30% dash distance do for him? If you already have good fundamentals, I think being able to like have teammates stand on it, including yourself, if you're ever in danger, you just stand on it and you're already non-stop healing from Petal Protection. I think it's good. I've seen some sow the seeds, but Super Bloom, if you have a chance to weave damage, which is really nice, especially into pretty easy to hit tanks. A little bit harder to pop this off reliably into like a, I don't know, Sigma or something, because you can't get enough. But yeah, both are good low-key. You can out Petal as a healing pad in doorways. The heal platform is doo-doo. All right, maybe I'm mistaken then. I mean, I don't play Weaver, like I'm saying. Nobody plays Weaver, so only 10 votes. nobody stays on it. Maybe people don't even realize they're healing on it, which is probably, I honestly forgot that this was his perk now. But now if I play with the Weaver and I know it heals me, I might stay on it for a little bit longer, crouch for a second, if I just randomly take it mid-team fight and just get a free heal for a second. Anyways, I'll leave it up for you guys. Maybe we'll just trust the community choice and you guys can have a discussion on what you guys like. Oh, I see your point there you're making on the YouTube chat. Dash is better against dive. True. Extra distance to maybe create more space. Okay. Unless you take more aggressive angles. But pedal gives you better ult charge. Oh, you know what? Ult charge. It could add up if you have some people randomly taking it, including yourself. Could add up to build your tree a little bit faster. Sow the seed though. Can pick it up. Actually clutch burst heals. I honestly have not played with enough Weavers to take this. I played with a decent bit of Weavers in the past. I played over like 100 games this past week. And I think I've seen like 2 sow the seeds. I've played with so many Weavers and I just don't see this perk. So I don't have a great opinion of it. So again, you can add your Discord. So I see that you're saying it's clutch burst heals, which I don't disagree with, but I haven't seen it enough. Anyways, let's move on. Almost done. Lucio. Stronger boop versus amp it up active during sound barrier. So is this the entire duration now that I think about it? You just guaranteed speed and like heals, because the over health will like top you off, and then I guess you can get a free amp without having your amp actually on cooldown. So then you can amp after it expires. Is that kind of how it works? I don't play Lucio. I always thought it was the boop perk. It seems to be kind of popular, but 46% is pretty high. I'll be honest, I don't watch Frogger, so I haven't seen like what he takes, but also he shouldn't. I'm pretty sure he takes the greedy boop ones if I had to guess, because that's just Frogger. And then we have noise violation versus Accelerando. He probably takes this one based on the reading, but if he wants to win, he probably take the amp stuff. You maybe take double amp here. Solo queue definitely feels like a Sound Rider and Accelerando. Safer team play is maybe these two. We have Mercy, Winged Reach, Overhealth. Dude, I think you take Winged Reach 100% of the time. What the hell? 54-46? I think extra range on GA is insane for being able to move around the map. And what? Am I crazy for this? I don't play Mercy, so I could be very wrong, and I'd be the first to admit that. But just on paper, this seems insane. Some people think like Stadium Overhealth. Like, if it's a bad res, it's a bad res. They just wouldn't go for the overhealth, but it could help your lower rank to pull the res off because they go for the riskier ones, or they haven't been able to assess. Like a lower rank Mercy can't assess whether it's a good res or not, so they'll take it, and like people don't focus fire, and they seem to like have a safer res consistently with this. This one is definitely the much higher potential. Exactly, that's what I was saying. If you need overhealth for a res, I don't think that's a safe res. You don't go for the res, but it's one of those like you just take it if you're just casually playing Mercy, sure. But I think if you want to be really good at her, you should be taking this. There's just way more you can do with extra 30% range. And now, what's interesting is that we had a change to Mercy's chain boost where you can get 5% more damage boost because they nerfed the base 30% damage boost from 30% to 25% and added 5% to the perk. And now it's tied to the perk versus extra double dose. I don't know what the discourse is and discussion is on which one's better now with these changes. Again, I don't play the hero enough. So this one for me on paper, I can tell immediately. This one, is that 5% worth it? You're rarely ever chaining 2 people is what I would read on paper. That it just seems better to have meaningful burst heals to save someone when it matters more. Because when you're damage boosting someone, if you're having 2 allies clumped together on the same angle, that's not good. You should be taking 2 separate angles in a lot of cases. That's why you don't run double hit scan on the same angle. You run 1 flanker, 1 hit scan roll, and then you can go crazy there. So I don't know. I think you probably take double dose if you want to continue climbing on Mercy past a certain threshold. This has higher potential. Me personally. Anyways, Mizuki. I want to comment on this because I play a decent bit of Mizuki here. So I was taking Exposal 100% of the time for the first 4 months, but now Mizuki's ultimate has been buffed to have the 2-way blocking, and I honestly think having higher base generation to build your ultimate a bit faster is not even that bad. I saw some pro players experiment with this in a pro match for that reason, because they had a matchup where they were unable to consistently hit the exposed soul. Now, of course, if there's someone you're honestly chaining nonstop, Ball, Doom, Hazard, D.Va, take exposed soul. But this one has more merit now. Let me be clear. I said all that, but I probably still take Exposed Soul 80% of the time, 90% of the time, because of Shion and like the potential to just like kill a 250 HP hero with the bonus damage on the person is too good in solo queue to pass up. But if you feel like you're sucking on the chains, you can get away with Wellspring and it's fine. That's all I'm trying to say. Okay, and now for the major perks. I've changed my opinion on this. I also used to take Resonant Return once I learned the extra bounces is an extra 10 additional bounce, plus 10, plus 10, plus 10, so it's 40 back or 50 back on yourself or something along those lines. So it's actually a big chunk of healing, really good in 6v6. But Katashio Return has been buffed this season. 1 extra second on the duration and 1 less second on the overall cooldown. There's 2 seconds net shaved off the uptime of this, or the downtime of this ultimate, or of this ability, excuse me, the Katashio Return. So really you're only stuck with like a true like 4 or 5 second cooldown now. So having this movement speed, even if your allies aren't using it, you yourself can make use of this and go very aggressive in combination with Exposed Soul and just go for solo picks. You pop Katashiro, you go lurk around, go chain someone who's not paying attention, hit him twice, and then you have plenty of time to TP back, and then it's back again. So I think this should be like 75-25 now. I think I just take a quick step nowadays. It is dependent, of course, situational. Wellspring for uptime, right? So many flanking Mizukis, it depends, which is good. I want perks that have dependent situations, but yeah, that's the take. Okay, and now we have Moira. Moira buffed this season. Absolute menace right now. I'm seeing her non-stop in my games. There's a couple of Moiras in like Champ 2 right now, Champ 1 even, that are playing her because her orb, damage orb, got buffed from 200 to 250, which is a 20% buff to the damage. 20%. That's crazy. It doesn't change these perks specifically at all, but like the fact that she's played all the time, I had a good look at the Moira perks that they're taking right now. I can tell you right now, ain't nobody taking this perk. 18%? Nah, 0. It's 25%. You're right. 200 to 250 is 25% buff to the damage orb. Excuse me. You're right. Not 20%. I misspoke. Good shout. But ain't nobody taking Destruction's Divide because it's pure damage or pure healing means you lose the other one. Moira's Coalescence is genuinely a really good support ultimate. And the fact that your orb does more damage means you're building your ultimate a little bit faster each game, a few percentages faster. And the fact that it's pure damage or pure healing, one of the biggest benefits is that you yourself healing, you're tanky, and when you're hitting and piercing your teammates, you can pierce enemies and deal good reliable damage. It zones people. You can still use regular Coalescence, just don't press anything, but then like, and then you situationally change it. I think it's already so strong, you don't need it. Ethical Nourishment to like help reliably get 30 instant healing without your orb flying away that much to even build that ultimate faster in the first place. It feels like, I feel like every Moira I've seen takes this one 100% of the time. So many DPS Moiras only, so the reason why people are taking this is because they only go pure DPS. Yeah, exactly. When you go pure damage, you get no self-healing. That's why it was, that's why I never saw them ever take it. I think you always take Ethical Nourishment. That's just me. You also don't need this Biotic Orb. Well, now that the damage orb got buffed, if you can stare at it and you know where it's going, sure, but a lot of times you throw the orb and you forget it, so you don't really need reversal. Phantom Step allowing you to like reposition and get into a better spot feels like a better choice as you climb. Down to the last two here. We have Wuyang. Overflow versus balance. People are still taking balance, and people, I'm telling you, my argument for this, I take overflow 100% of the time now. The math, people, I think personally, I think people are still stuck on old balance math because balance was the 100% take 4 months ago. And I'll explain it one more time for those who didn't watch my previous videos or explanations. Balance increases the passive stream healing by 30%. The passive stream used to be 40 HP per second. Maybe it was 30, but it used to be 30 maybe. And I think the active healing was like 40 for the one that uses your resource. There was a patch like 1.5 seasons ago where they added 10 to one and minus 10 to the other. So the passive stream went from 30 to 20. And then the active beam went from like 40 to 50. I think it might even be 50. It might even be 60 right now. I don't have the reference right here, but somebody can look it up right now. So they buffed the active beam healing is like legitimately stronger than Mercy's. And when you combo it with like them getting the wave, it's like genuinely like a really strong heal to actively beam someone. The counter argument is that you're wasting time active beaming while not throwing an orb. But like in a situation where someone is like 10 HP in front of you, like you have no choice and you want to be able to heal them, and never having to reload will help your uptime. Like the idea of balance is that you have more water orb uptime. You're not wasting time active healing, but you also have more uptime without wasting time reloading. The burst healing is better, and you regen resource, so you can actually like, when somebody looks at my stats, my wielding stats, and they're like, yo, like how are you like healing that much? It's like sometimes the tank, when there's nothing really happening, needs like 500 HP, and my Mizuki is off in fucking Narnia right now doing his Katashio return, and my tank is low, and he's not taking any space because he's not getting healed. So I will just fucking wave him, and I'll just empty my resource and fucking overflow it and empty it more so he can actually heal and go in. Any case, the math on this is it's 20 for the passive, so 30% of it for 2 seconds is 6 HP per second. And then when you combo 6 HP per second and you minus 30%, because everyone's randomly, because balance is, people are saying balance is value in a sense, because like, you know, they get an extra bit of healing, but if they're taking chip damage and they're actively in a fight, that 6 extra HPS goes down to like 4 HP per second. So balance is literally giving you 4 extra HP per second. 4. And overflow got like net 10 on top, and like if they're balanced and off like a Tracer in Narnia, I'm not hitting them with the wave for the boosted healing. I'm not a believer of balance anymore. That's my takeaway point. Balance used to be really good, 100%, but now it's like a 0% take for me. I think the math is just, overflow is just way better. But just at the end of the day, these are minor perks. Like if you take one or the other, it's not just going to like suddenly like spike you and be like, that's the difference maker. Like if you're just a bad Wu-Yang, you're a bad Wu-Yang. If you don't even hit any orbs period, like and you have bad ults, like that's the bigger difference maker. These are just minor perks at the end of the day, okay? So when I'm like spreading the overflow propaganda for 100% take, it's not gonna suddenly like, and you still take balance, it's fine. There's games where you don't need the overflow and they don't need that much healing, sure, and like the balance could just be there and it's fine. In any case, major perk, Ebb and Flow just got buffed where the rewind finally does more. I think it's like it got buffed back to 100% healing. Still good, but I still think Following Rain is a better solo queue option. That being said, I think if you play 6v6 with 2 tanks and a front to back comp, I actually don't even think Ebb and Flow is that bad at all anymore, at least. But I still take Following Rain 99% of the time. The 1%, okay, 90 and 10. I'll take Ebb and Flow if I have an Orisa Sigma in 6v6 and they're just playing main. I'm like, fine, I'll give it to you. And my other support is Mizuki off Katashio returning into their backline, and it's just me, and I'll take this. I should probably swap at that point because they're stuck playing Mizuki and like our tanks are literally 10 HP and not moving up or not taking any space. Anyways, Zenyatta, Discordant Repair. So like high elo communities or like people on socials on Twitter will flame you for taking this because they're like, oh, like 10% lifesteal is nothing. Ascendance helps you take so many more angles and all stuff, which I agree. I think Ascendance is a much better perk. I think you take this 100% of the time. I think this lifesteal is not going to save you if you're getting jumped by anybody at all. Like at most, if you hit like the Tracer for what's she, 175 HP, you hit her twice and she recalls, you hit her for 100 damage, you heal 10%, you heal 10 HP, or you heal 15 HP minus the DPS thing, you heal 12 HP. They're like, wow, that's bait, that's nothing. But let's say you're fighting Tracer for 3 to 5 seconds. It's the same argument where people are just like, this is bait, take Ascendance, but like people are still hung up about balance. I'm like, dude, the math is like honestly even worse on balance compared to Discordant Repair. This one's a bit easier to have uptime on, but like the idea stands. Maybe it's less so much about Discordant Repair being bad and more so much about Ascendance being much better. So this stops you not only to the hover, gives you crazy secondary fire angles, it stops you from getting booped off the map, which is really important to play it on Lijiang and to get into spots and maybe cross high grounds. But really, it's to just peak with really nice secondary fires. The healing really is not that much. And then we finally have Dual Harmony versus Focus Destruction. I like Focus Destruction way more, but I will take Dual Harmony if we have double flankers. Echo Shion, Echo Tracer, Genji Tracer. Someone like those 2 double flankers. If we have like a hit skin who's playing kind of like main, or like a Cass who's kind of playing to protect me, I don't really need Dual Harmony. We're just going to go kill them instead. My 1 Harmony orb can go to my 1 flanker, but double flanker, Dual Harmony, it's not bad. Not bad. All right, and finally, we have finished yapping about perks. That was a long-ass video.